With Scott Hanselman. Scott's just finished a session here. So we pulled him away. He's just wrapped up questions and he's agreed to talk to us, which is awesome. Hi, Scott.
How are you? It's good to see you. We worked on a thing in 2011 together.
Yep.
Yeah, when I just came off stage and I was talking about being a social developer. And one of the things that I talked about is when I created a system by which I could see people remotely. And we turned that into Link Auto Answer so that I could basically call a bot and see it remotely, and I could interact with my coworkers without them having to say answer call.
Right. I was going to ask you about that actually, because the world's moved on. We have Teams now. Is that better? Like, are the same problems still there? Like, have they been fixed? What's your take on that? Because you work from home a lot.
Well, the thing is that we have privacy to think about, and but I still want to be able to call a bot or a place and have it auto answer. Now I can automate that with Teams more than I could with Link before, because our solution, it needed to answer the phone, go full screen. I think there's still value in that, but privacy concerns, you don't want to necessarily be able to just flip on a two-way camera anywhere at all. But I haven't gone and built it because people are very friendly with Teams, and now everyone has a webcam. And when we were doing it, webcams were not ubiquitous.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I still get emails about that. Do you?
Yeah, I do as well. It's funny. Yeah,
it's so cool.
So cool.
10 years later.
It's a great example of the things you were just talking about, actually, of being out there and doing stuff and being visible. And yeah.
Well, what was fun about it is when we did this, when we created this little thing together, we hadn't met together. We talked about it online. We were very friendly with each other about credit or lift, about you did this and I worked on that, and then we shared the website, and even now it's still out there and we keep it running because there are solutions. People are actually still using that in hospitals, and also we made it a pan-tilt Zoom system for remote pan-tilt Zoom as well.
Yeah, so it was very cool.
Yeah.
You've been at Microsoft 12 years, something like that, right? The world has changed. Like, it used to be easy to be, if you were a Microsoft developer, everybody knew what you were doing. You were doing WinForms and you were doing web. Now it feels like it's way more complicated. Do I need to learn everything? Like, what does that mean? What does it mean to be a Microsoft developer now?
That's a good question. That is a wonderful question. I think that we should decide what that means. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think being a Microsoft developer means being a .NET developer anymore, nor does it mean being a Visual Studio developer. Maybe we go and take over that name and we redefine it, and it means a flexible developer, a developer who understands the fundamentals that we know will never go away, and it'll be someone who can use some Microsoft products and then integrate those Microsoft products with other non-Microsoft products to make a successful solution. And we can reclaim that old title, Microsoft developer, and make it something new.
Is that a call to arms for? I mean, is there anything wrong with still being a WinForms?
You had the idea, so yeah.
Well, let's do it together. Yeah. It feels, like sometimes I feel this as I don't know Kubernetes, for instance. Like, should I? Am I supposed to?
Well, but you do know it in that you know the boxes and the lines. You get what its problem is. Like, I don't know hybrid cars. Right, I learned on a '63 Ford Falcon, and I had three on the tree, as they say, or 4 on the floor. I know how to double clutch, and now we got electric cars. But I'm still able to call an Uber. I get that it's a car, so you know how to scale web systems. I think you'd figure Kubernetes out in a couple of weekends.
Yeah, so it's more about knowing that it exists. You don't need to know all the details, right?
You don't need to be a mechanic, right? The thing about Kubernetes is that right now you need to know the internals. Tomorrow, Kubernetes will be a checkbox, and then it'll be a slider bar. So I've been doing this for a long time. You've been doing this for a while. I've got a 3-page resume. 3 pages. You got how they always say you should have a 1-page resume. I got a 3 freaking page resume. Page 2 was learning how to scale a website. Well, now I have page 1 and page 3 because I've ripped out page 2 and it's a slider bar. Yeah. And do I feel bad about that? Do I I lost the 90s where I was learning how to scale websites? No, I just deal with it. You know what I mean? So now I got a 2-page resume with odd numbered pages.
Yeah, that's cool. The other thing, I love that idea. Is that for real? I'm sure. Yeah.
I used to work at a place called 800.com. Back when you could get a 3-letter domain. We flew in Cisco Local Director. I mean, the idea of scaling out a website, that was a thing. You would actually go and, hey, can you scale a website out? Sure. I would go and buy the rack. I'd rack it up. I did the work. And now, the 20-year-old slides the slider bar and it's like, this website's taking a minute. Blah.
Yeah, that's true.
I can be salty about it, or I can be excited about our new electric car future, and Kubernetes will become a slider bar, and then their resume will have less pages.
Yeah. The other thing that's changed is that the whole dev stack that Microsoft are getting involved in and are owning and being involved with is way more open than it used to be. Like that's been a massive thing in the past couple of years. From the inside, from the your job and the things that you do, what's that been like?
We used to have the legal department. They changed the name of the legal department all the time. The legal people used to just say no. They literally would just, like, they existed to say no to stuff. And now they literally exist to figure out how to say yes.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I used memes in my talk, and I had to go and get them cleared by legal. And I didn't feel like they were working against me. They were trying to find ways to make sure that this would be appropriate and fair use. That's a great example. So when you fundamentally become yes people rather than no people, then you can get a lot more work done.
And have there been challenges along the way apart from the legal stuff? Have you
Licensing can be confusing. The pedigree of open source code, like for example, if someone came to us with our link thing and wanted to license it 10 years later, you and I'd have to go dig up a bunch of stuff about where we got it from, and hopefully we didn't copy paste anything from Stack Overflow. Pedigree or of the family tree of source code can be challenging, especially when you're trying to open source something. But I think we're getting better at that, and there's tools to help that. That's been a tough thing, getting legal to understand. Some teams aren't as open as others, but we in .NET and in the developer division are open by default. Basically, everything we do is open unless it's got a really good reason to be closed. And I'm not able to think of anything that I've worked on in the last 5 or 10 years that's been closed. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah, that's cool. It's just kind of interesting with all the different language support as well. That's something that's so new and interesting, is seeing support when things come out. They come out on day one with support, not just for .NET, not just for C#, VB.NET, but a number of languages that are not Microsoft languages.
So I was in a talk. I was teaching at a university down in San Diego last week, and someone made this joke, and I'm going to pick on a particular country. They said, Finland, they speak Finnish there. Why don't they just give up? Like, their language is not going to win.
Right.
Think about how silly that is.
Yeah.
They like their language. They like their culture. Now, what if we were to say, Rust or Scala, or just pick some language, some really, I don't know, maybe a more obscure language than those, some language with 5 speakers. Should they give up, or should they be preserved? You wouldn't go and say that. You wouldn't say that we should throw away a language. You shouldn't go and throw away a community. So then why not support everybody and then standardize on the edges?
Wow. Yeah, that's
deep.
That is, like, you should
find a Finnish person and ask them what they think.
Well, there's a whole thing about being proud of your language as well.
See? So be proud of your language. And that's the thing that's great about .NET, whether it be C#, VB, or F#. There is value and expressiveness in those things, and there's poetry in each language.
And we talked a bit about being a social developer, and I know you've talked before about black hole developers. Like
dark matter developers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dark matter developers. Yeah. So is that still I think I heard that from you a few years ago. Is it still a problem? How's it? Yeah.
Some people like that title, some people don't. But I think that the analogy is a fun one. So what is dark matter? It's the space between the stars. So if you accept this idea that there's this rock star developer, which is nonsense, but let's say just visible developers, people on Twitter, people who have a presence. We've all had that friend that we can go and Google with Bing for that we can't find. I don't have a footprint on the internet. Those are dark matter developers. The problem with dark matter in space is we don't know how much there is. For every 2 stars, there's, 1 billion? Like, how much space in between? So for every 1 Tom and every 1 Scott, is there 1,000 quiet? Maybe we'll call them quiet developers. You know why they're quiet? They're working. And they don't maybe feel the need to toot their own horns about it.
Right. Is that a problem, or is that just...
It's not a problem, it's an awareness. Dark matter isn't threatening. We don't want to turn dark matter into stars. We just want to recognize that they're there. So if we have a message that we want to get to them, we have to go where they are.
Right, yeah. Okay,
right?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Thank you.
So, this is a kind of short, simple, but I'm not sure what the answer is going to be question. What do you do now at Microsoft? And I'm sorry, that sounds like such a horrible question, because it's obvious what you do.
Exactly.
Like, it's obvious. It used to be, to me, like, you were a developer, like you were leading a team. And now, I think you're still doing that, but I'm not really sure. Because your job title changed a while back, right?
No, so job titles are nonsense, right? I mean, I'm a program manager. I've been a program manager the whole time I've been at Microsoft. When I started at Microsoft, I worked in MSDN, the Microsoft Developer Network. I now work for Scott Hunter, who owns Runtimes.net and whatnot underneath Visual Studio. So I'm working in the developer division, and I lead a team that works on .NET Community. So Jeff Fritz, John Galloway, Nisha Nil, Maria Nagaga, Jamie Singleton, Ron Miller, they're my team. They work on lots of different things, from docs to Microsoft Learn to videos to Twitch and all those kind of things.
Okay, fantastic. Scott, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. And we're going to throw back to the live stage.
I'm not supposed to look.
I'm John Papa. I'm